Hey there, before you watch the rest of this video, make sure you read the chapter that is due for today.
Hello, Palm Coast family. I'm so happy to be with you all today. We are on our 24th day of the Proverbs fast, and I have the privilege of bringing to you Proverbs chapter 24. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, this chapter is just a continuation of some of the sayings of the wise or words of wisdom that we've been reading thus far, right? So we are going to go ahead and start off in verse 1 and 2. Where it says, "Don't envy evil people or desire their company, for their hearts plot violence and their words always stir up trouble." Now, when I first read it, it seemed like a very cut and dry verse. Don't envy evil people, stay in your lane, mind your business, stop worrying about what other people are doing, right? So I went ahead and as I continued reading, in verse 19 and 20, we see that theme again. Don't fret because of evildoers, don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future, and the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. So whenever we read something multiple times, whenever God is repeating himself in the Bible, it's a sign for us to stop and think, stop and listen, right? So once I saw that for the second time, I'm like, what are you really trying to tell me here, God? And what stuck out to me was at the end of verse 20, where it says, the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Now, for us as young adults, we all know it's very common for us to, be envious very quickly, right? We can see something on social media, friends getting married, friends getting engaged, people having babies, careers, all these things that we want, right? And it's easy for us to be envious of that. But what we need to remember, one of the main things that I always like to remind myself of is that a lot of times what we're being envious of is what people are simply showing us, right? What they want us to see. And a lot of the things that we are envious of are temporary things, right? So where it states in verse 20, the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. If someone's light is able to be snuffed out, that means that it was temporary to begin with. It was never a lasting light. It was never a strengthened or a strong light, right? So we're being envious of something that is not even that strong, something that isn't going to last a long time. So what we need to remember is to always focus and prioritize the eternal light, which is the light of Jesus Christ, which is, the Word, which is God, something that will last eternal, something that will not be able to be snuffed out, something that will never be dimmed. So we need to make sure that we are not focused on what other people have in that moment, because they can lose it like that. We need to focus on what God has planned for us, which is His eternal light. So going forward, we're going to go down to verse 10, where it states, now this verse here got me in my feelings a little bit, right? So in verse 10 it said, if you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. When I first read that, I was like, it's giving me rude. If I fail under pressure, my strength is too small. But what if I tried? What if I put my all into it and then it just didn't work out? How are you calling me weak? Right? So that's the first thing I thought of, right? Clearly. So as I continued reading it, in verse 16 it says, the godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Now, verse 16 was the reassurance I needed for verse 10, right? Because in verse 10, clearly, we will fail under pressure, and we are weak without God. Because in verse 10, if you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Okay. Verse 16 states, the godly, so with God, you will trip 7 times, but you will always get up, right? So that's the last thing I want to leave you all with, is that yes, we will fail under pressure on our own strength. Yes, we are weak by our own strength, but like it shows in verse 16, with God, we may trip 7 times, but we will always get up. So that is what I want to leave you all with, that word of encouragement there. There was a whole lot more that I saw in this chapter that was super juicy, but for sake of time, I'm going to give you my 2 favorites, right? So thank you all. That's all I had for you. Just make sure that you remember that with God, you will always get up. and you cannot do anything on your own strength. And to not be envious of those who only have temporary things, and to just solely focus on the eternal light that is Jesus Christ. Thank you all for sharing this time with me. I miss you all. I love you. I pray that the rest of these 31 days are a blessing to you all, as they have been so far for me. And yeah, we'll just continue on with our fast. See you all. Bye.
Now it's time for our fast. You have 3 options for our fast this morning. You can choose to fast for 4 to 6 hours from food, which means no appetizers, no entrees, no desserts, no snacks, only water or 100% fruit juice. Or you can fast for 4 to 6 hours from entertainment, meaning no internet TV or regular TV, no social media, no movies, no gaming. Or you can fast for 4 to 6 hours from your phone. No calls, no texts, no apps, no messages, no video chats or calls. Your phone is turned off or put away for the full 4 to 6 hours. Whether you do this now or later, doesn't matter, as long as you're spending 4 to 6 hours fasting from food, entertainment, or your phone. You pick. Each day can be a different fast, and so we invite you to do this, and we hope that God continues to speak to you today. Let us know how your fast has been going by commenting below, whether on Facebook or YouTube, in the comment section. We hope that you have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.